If you have bought or sold your home in the past 12 months, your realtor may have mentioned that there were ongoing lawsuits about how realtors are being compensated. If you are involved in the real estate industry, you know exactly what I'm alluding to. So today I'm going to talk about these lawsuits that just settled and what it means for the real estate industry going forward. Basically, sellers felt that the cost of selling their home was inflated due to the commission structure proposed by the listing agent they were considering hiring. In this case, many sellers came forward who sold their houses to say that they felt as if the cost of selling was inflated due to having to compensate a buyer's agent. Something to note, when this eventually went to trial, none of the members of the jury were homeowners. Today, the National Association of Realtors have settled with these people to come to an agreement. Now you may see the 6% commission is dead. NAR agrees to change commission structure to settle lawsuit. These could not be more misleading. So let's get into the heavy stuff and why this is all wrong. Here we start off with showing how a realtor should approach a listing agreement. Every great listing agent knows that they have value. They exist to make the home selling process as easy and as financially beneficial as possible for the sellers. However, at this listing appointment, after the realtor tells the sellers why they should hire him or her, they start talking about brokerage fee or commission. This has been and still is always negotiable. There is no such thing as a standard rate at brokerages or between brokerages. That is called commingling and has been illegal forever. When an agent meets with a seller, like in this example, the agent should explain how the commission structure can work. Guess what? If the seller does not like that, they can always say no or come back with a different structure for commissions. Let's say that they don't want to compensate a buyer's agent. That's something that listing agents have practiced in the past and is not unusual. When it comes to the commission structure, there have always been differences. Yes, most of the time a listing agent and the sellers come to an agreement on the brokerage fee, then the listing agent and the seller agree on what percentage or fee to compensate a buyer's agent out of the commission that will be distributed to the listing agent. However, different structures on commissions have always existed, like the example used in the last paragraph. So this is why the statement that NAR agrees to change commission structures to settle lawsuit is misleading. Differences have always been around in the commission structure. Another change that is coming from these lawsuits is that a listing agent will no longer be able to advertise what they are compensating a buyer's agent in MLS. Many realtors who only work with buyer's agents may be worried about this change. However, the agreement also says that a buyer's agent can be compensated, it just cannot be advertised in MLS, the multiple listing service. Next, I think it is important to talk about why buyer's agents are so important, not only for the industry, but for the buyers themselves, the consumers. Buyer agencies have existed since the early 1990s. It was created out of good intentions to help an uneducated consumer have a fair representation in a real estate transaction. Don't hear me wrong. There are definitely people out there who do not need a realtor. However, for most of the people out there who know nothing about real estate or houses or inspections or many other things that go into a real estate transaction, a buyer's agent is always going to be helpful. Here are some of the value propositions that a buyer agent offers. The first one is negotiation strategy. Whether you are in a slow market and the house has been sitting for a while or a competitive one, a buyer's agent can help you immensely. In terms of a slow market, a well-trained realtor will investigate a house, the sales disclosure, past sales tax, tax assessments, anything to see why this house has been sitting. and use that knowledge to help buyers negotiate a less than listing price. When it comes to a competitive market like the recent years, you need someone to help guide you, the buyers, to make your offer as appealing as possible to get it accepted by the sellers. The second value proposition is clerical work. When it comes to a real estate transaction, there are many documents involved. Realtors are trained to be able to navigate and properly execute these documents so that they and their buyers are protected. Number 3, market knowledge. Realtors have access to a wealth of information about the local housing market. They can provide insights into pricing trends, neighborhood dynamics, and the availability of properties that may not be easily accessible to the general public. The fourth one, protection of interests. This is very important. Realtors are legally and ethically bound to represent their clients' best interests. They can help you navigate potential pitfalls and ensure that your rights are protected throughout the transaction, compared to going directly to the listing agent, where you may not be represented in the best way possible. Number 5, streamlined process. By working with a realtor, you can streamline the home buying process and avoid common pitfalls and delays. Realtors are familiar with the paperwork and procedures involved in buying a house and can help ensure that everything proceeds smoothly. As you can see, buyer agents are essential to an uneducated buyer who needs the guidance so that they do not get taken advantage of in a transaction by the seller. This writing was meant to explain what is going on in real estate right now with the commission structures and the truth behind it all. Now, there are definitely some theories out there that I can get into that I'm definitely not going to get disclosed here. But buyer agency should not go anywhere. We as a real estate industry and as consumers should still go about business and not be afraid of destroying that part of the industry. Not only do buyers agents help their clients, but they also help sellers sell their houses in a smoother process. If a listing agent represented a seller and a buyer in a transaction, I think all would not benefit from this. This has happened in the past, but it never really works out for either party in the best way possible. When a lawsuit takes place, does the same lawyer represent the defendant and the accuser? I'm going to call out CNN here, the Clown News Network, where they specify that the 6% standard commission is dead and no more. It has never existed. As stated before, brokerage fees have always been negotiable, and all the client has to do is say no. Everything has been negotiable. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you found this helpful.